is up, Nuggets? It's your boy, Killer Pizza, here with a brand new video for you rascals and rapscallions out there. As always, I hope everybody's having a great weekend, a great holiday weekend at that, watching some spooky movies and whatnot. And I got to apologize for the late upload. Truth be told, your boy was being lazy. I slept in till almost 2 o'clock today. As a lot of you guys know, I work second shift, and I was just so tired. I needed that. This past week at my job here in Michigan, it was 95 to 100 degrees with humidity like every single day of the week. And I work outside, so, I've been at this job 6 years and I love it, but you'll just truly never be prepared for days that hot. So, ever since Monday, I was just trying to keep my head above water pretty much, sweating like Justin Bieber at a P. Diddy party, that's how bad it was outside. But I'm home, I'm in the AC, I'm watching some good movies, just hanging out, and I actually got tomorrow off, Labor Day, which is pretty cool. It's funny, a lot of guys at my job took vacation days to have it off, and then they just gave it to us anyways, so joke's on you guys. But anyways, right into the video at hand. As you can tell from the title, these are 10 comfort movies. And what do I mean by comfort movies? Pretty much like, the main idea I have about this is like, no matter what mood you're in, a good mood, bad mood, a movie you can put on to just play in the background where you don't need to watch every minute of it, one you could watch almost every night on repeat, just movies that have certain elements that are kind of like a feel-good movie, like some of my favorites, just an easy watch that I could pretty much watch every night. That's a very bad description, I feel, but I think you guys know where I'm going with this. So anyways, let's hop right into it. Multiple different genres in here, but we will start with a horror classic, old reliable right here, one of my all-time favorites, Sleepaway Camp. Now, ironic to bring this up because summer's pretty much over. We are in Halloween Eve. It is officially September. But this is just one of my very favorite movies. I love this movie to death. And this is a definition of a comfort movie for me because it's just so easy to watch, so easy to get through. All the kids going to summer camp and a killer being on the loose, a classic slasher with like a really good twist ending. I'm pretty sure most everybody's seen this movie, but if you haven't, you definitely need to check it out. What I like about this is it pretty much just comes off as like a campy, fun, raunchy, like camp movie, an 80s comedy almost, which I like a lot when my horror movies have comedy. I think there's like a line that needs to be drawn where it's like, it's not horror comedy, there's just elements of comedy in it. Because it's like, if I was in a horror movie and I'm with my friends, it's going to be hilarious. We're going to be joking the whole time. It's not like we're terrified the entire time until the killer shows up. Not every movie's like The Exorcist in tone. So I like when movies can be a little fun and slapstick. And I like how these kids actually act how kids normally would. And this is just a really fun slasher that I can watch anytime. All right, and I debated on bringing this box set down, but I figured in case anyone's new to my channel or new to collecting, they should see this for sure. So I didn't pick a movie out in particular, but I'm going to go with Friday the 13th, and this is the Scream Factory box set. I think the greatest release they ever put out. It's got all the movies right in there. Look at that. So, in a nutshell, I would say the Paramount 8, the original 8, are classic. They're just fun slashers. I would say in particular, part 2, 3, 4, and 6. I do like 5, though. It's all right. Any one of those I could put on anytime, and they're just a really good time. And if you wanted to check out any of my reviews on these, I actually reviewed every single Friday the 13th movie and then ranked them last year. So just search that for with Killer Pizza, and you can get my review to any of these movies. But yeah, these are just really fun movies, fun slashers, pretty much the blueprint. My favorite horror franchise. I prefer this over Halloween, Freddy, all the big names. I don't think Friday the 13th gets enough love. I don't know how much casual viewers go back and watch the sequels. Okay, one more horror title for now. This is one of my top 3 favorite horror movies of all time. Dawn of the Dead. Beautiful release from Second Sight, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I wish I would have gotten that big box set. But this is just the best zombie movie of all time. And I just love the chemistry between all the characters surviving in the mall and everything. This movie just has a lot of heart, has a lot of charm. I met pretty much the whole cast a couple years ago at Motor City Nightmares, except for Flyboy, who passed away, rest in peace. And yeah, this is great cast, great people. I should do a video talking about that again sometime. Just all the celebrities I've met and everything. Maybe I'll rank them eventually, or something like that. But this is just kind of puts an adventure kind of feel onto the horror movie, in my opinion. And like I said, a comfort movie. This is one, if I'm in a bad mood, I can throw on Dawn of the Dead and it will just bring up the spirits, or, anytime watch. This is my favorite George Romero movie for sure, Dawn of the Dead. Now we'll go into some non-horror titles I have in this stack. First of all, we have Dazed and Confused from Criterion. Wish I would have held out and gotten the 4K, but beautiful release. This is known as the movie about nothing. A bunch of high schoolers at the end of the year graduating, and the 8th graders are coming into high school, and they're getting kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, they're getting, like, ribbed. They're getting initiated into high school by these jocks, the seniors and everything. Pretty much just follows, like, two different groups of kids, the younger kids and the older kids. Pretty much a movie about nothing, but I've loved this movie ever since I was in high school. Just a very fun watch, very funny, and just cool. I like the atmosphere, I like the vibe in this a lot. And, fun fact, I remember my last day of high school as a senior, me and my buddy, we did roll up to Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith, just like in the movie. We were doing the same stuff as in the movie, and I remember thinking then, I'm going to look back on this and think that was pretty badass, which it was. But Dazed and Confused, the movie about nothing, pretty much this is just a vibe. Party at the Moon Tower. Okay, now here is one that'll have you on the edge of your seat just a little more. And I actually seen this for the first time a couple years ago, whenever this came out. And that is True Romance. I love this movie after the first time I watched it. I watched this 2 times in 3 days after I seen it. And the first time I watched this, I remember just sitting on my couch with like my jaw dropped. I just sat there for like 10, 15 minutes just thinking about what I just seen. But awesome adventure story, true romance pretty much, This is a modern day Bonnie and Clyde. They're on the run from the feds, the gangsters, the mobsters, all that going from Detroit all the way to California. Lots of twists and turns in this movie, and I just love their relationship in here. Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette, I love them to death in this movie, and, I could watch this one almost every night. This is probably my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie, that he wrote. I love this movie so much. True Romance. And now I have my favorite Christmas movie of all time. We have Die Hard, and yes, I consider it a Christmas movie. It takes place during Christmas. I will argue forever, and it's never truly Christmas until you see Hans Gruber fall from the Nakatomi Tower, right? Yeah, I love this movie. I didn't see this for the longest time. I didn't see this until like maybe 5 years ago. And I thought it was just going to be kind of a generic action movie. But there's so much more to this one, just the cat and mouse game, the up and down, John McClane and Hans Gruber, their dynamic. I love this so much. This has got to be my favorite action movie. And I could put this on whenever and just have an absolute blast with this. Die Hard. Love it so much. Love it. Okay, now here is one that is very underrated. I still give, I was just giving Garrett from Born to Be Rad some shit about this on a live stream the other day because him and Mel on their podcast were laughing at Justin for putting over this movie, American Movie. And I was saying, you guys got to check this out. It's one of the greatest documentaries ever made. It's just this guy right here and his buddy. I think they're from Wisconsin in the Midwest, and they're making an independent horror movie. And it just shows their journey, their ups and downs of trying to put this movie together. In particular, right here, I forgot his name. It's actually coming out in 4K soon, but this is the greatest documentary. It's just so relatable, and I just love seeing the struggle trying to put this movie together. And I think the fact that it takes place in the Midwest and everything, both of these guys right here are just so likable. Right here, Mike, too. Rest in peace. I heard he just died a couple years ago, but if you guys have never seen this movie, American Movie, I highly, highly suggest seeking this one out and watching it. Just a very, very fun documentary. Okay, next up, once again, I'm going to consider like 3 of these movies as one. The Back to the Future trilogy. I would have to say, non-horror, this might be my favorite movie. And I'm going to put all 3 of them like as one. I remember when I got this 4K, I watched them all back to back in 3 nights. And there's literally times in this movie I almost started crying. It's just because it's just so beautiful, like so amazing. Back to the Future. There's nothing I need to say about this movie that you guys don't already know, but I highly suggest going back and revisiting these movies. It don't get any better than this. For like 80s action comedy and everything, absolute classics. And like I said, in the sense of being a comfort movie, these are movies I could put on any time. Like, I think a good way of describing a comfort movie too would be like if you're watching cable TV and you flicked on, like, you seen Back to the Future was on, and you just have to sit down and watch it right then and there. Like that happened to me about a month ago. Weekend at Bernie's was on when my internet wasn't working, but my cable was still good. And I just sat there and watched the whole movie. But Back to the Future, the third one was actually pretty damn good. I remembered it being so bad, but after rewatching it, loved it. Okay, now two more, and these are both horror titles. We have Night of the Comet. For one, this 4K looks absolutely amazing, and I don't know, man, this movie is just a vibe. I love it with the two sisters, pretty much. They survive like this comet hitting Earth, and it wipes out all the people on Earth, so it's pretty much the last two surviving people on Earth, so they think, and they end up running into people through the movie, some bad villains, some zombies, the government, a love interest and everything. And this is just a really fun movie. I love the dynamic between the two girls, Kelly Maroney and Catherine Mary Stewart. It's just so fun. It looks so good. I can't put this movie over enough. I mention this all the time on my channel. Night of the Comet is so, so good. Just the soundtrack, the vibe, the atmosphere, and everything. I love the scene when the older sister takes Kelly to the mall to go shop and like feel better. And they're dancing around these fur jackets to Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper. And I love that scene so much. I love that song, by the way. And it's like, am I allowed to like this song? This is a woman's song. I'm like, yeah, I can. I am in support of the Girls Just Want to Have Fun. But anyways, I love this movie. Great vibe. Another movie that's like not just crazy horror. It's just kind of like an atmosphere, not as dark until certain points and whatnot. You just have to see it. I suggest getting the 4K. It looks amazing. And last but not least, you guys knew this was going to be on this list if you're a fan of this channel or a viewer. My favorite movie of all time, not just horror, that is Return of the Living Dead. I remember on Return of the Living Dead Day, I watched this twice in one day. But I watched it the second time with commentary. For one, if you're looking to pick this up, get the Scream Factory release. This has so many great special features, including a really, really good documentary. But I can literally put this movie on anytime. I can quote almost this entire movie. I love the soundtrack. I love the atmosphere, the setting, all the characters, the chemistry with all of them. Only thing I don't really care for is how it ends, which that shows how good of a movie this really is. I would change that maybe a little bit, but it's just so good. Punk rock zombies. I love it so much. One thing I will mention, everyone always talks about how gory this movie is. I don't really think it's that gory, but yeah, I love this movie. It does have some good kills, great dialogue, funny, great setting, great soundtrack. You got Linnea Quigley in her scenes. And yes, I was going to tell you guys, I did pick up the Steelbook. This is a movie I will probably buy every copy of that I can get my hands on because I love it. So there you go. Those are 10 of my favorite comfort movies. I could definitely do a volume 2 or a volume 3 of this sometime in the future if you guys like this type of video. Leave in the comments what some of your favorite comfort movies are. Like one you can put on anytime and just vibe out to it. Have it on in the background or watch every second of it. But with that being said, like I said in the beginning of my video, I hope everybody's doing well out there. Enjoy your Labor Day tomorrow if you have it off. And other than that, Blood Guts Gore. I'll check you guys next time.